Hey guys, I'm back, and in this video we are going to be doing intro to Azure Recon with BloodHound. So overall, this this lab was pretty basic. There's not much to explain. Maybe there's only, from at least my point of view, there's only one thing to teach in this whole thing. You don't even have to use BloodHound to do this, but for the sake of just teaching BloodHound, because this does seem, related to BloodHound, I'll be using that. So yeah, let's first go ahead and just clear this, and let's use, where's my server at? All right, let's use Azure Hound to get the files that we can put into BloodHound, and I think it's right here. All right then. Let's do this. Paste it in here. And because we don't have the tenant ID, we can copy this domain, go over here, and write find tenant. Just put this in there, and it will give us this. Let's save this as Mega Big Tech. Alright, whatever. And there we go. We should have our file over here. And let me actually zoom in, by the way. Yeah, right over here. And yeah, let's get BloodHound now. And where did I put BloodHound? cd opt tools. Seven, and it's going to be on port 8080. Let's also log in via the Azure CLI, because I might as well show it from both ways. Alright, so we can go to administration and we can first delete this. So we'll go to database management, click all this and write please delete my data. And this takes a while. Even though it doesn't show over here, it just takes 1 to 2 minutes. And we are logged in. Perfect. And this loading also takes a while, and in order to see it working, we can go to data quality, and I think if we refresh this, did it finish already or nope? I guess it just hasn't deleted everything yet. We will give this a moment, and we'll also log in using the portal, because why not? Copy this. And it was canceled due to the fact that we were uploading it a little bit too early. Now that this is empty, that means our deletion was successful. We can do it again and it should work. So we have our portal over here, and we are logged in using Azure CLI, and we're also going to use BloodHound. The only reason why I'm using BloodHound is just to put a point across, as I think that's the only or main type of point or study point in this whole CTF. Besides that, you could do this very easy using this or the Azure CLI, but we're just going to touch upon BloodHound. And there we go, it's analyzing. We can go to data quality and we will see that it's now populated. We can see users as this, groups as this, apps, service principals, and all of these nodes. And it's completed. Let's go ahead and put our user, which is Jose, and click it. So the first thing to see is we are a member of one, which is IT Help Desk. If we click this or group, we'll notice that it is on-prem synced enabled. False, okay, that's whatever. Where is the point that I want to get across? Alright, I don't think it's here. But we see it's a member of one more thing, which is asset updates. And we see this member is this IT help desk, and it has inbound object control but no outbound object control, so it really doesn't show us anything. So we can go back to Joe's, and I'm just trying to play around with it so you guys have a decent understanding, or you guys are learning instead of just going through it in one go. The next thing to look at is roles. If we click this, we can see, hey, we have the update manager role, and if we click this, it shows over here whether it's built in or not, and this one is false, so this is like a custom role that's made. Now we can go here. This was the group that we're in, and groups can have roles. So we see over here, this is a built-in role, and it has a description over here as well. This is also a built-in role, as mentioned here. This is also built-in, and this is also built-in. The attribute definition and attribute assignment are a bit of unique roles that can read custom security attribute. What is it called actually? Let me go to users. Let me just click any user. Custom security attributes, that's exactly what it's called. So we're able to read the custom security attributes. Now to touch upon this a bit more, since this is one of our permissions and roles that we can do, is that each user or Azure object, I believe, or an object, basically users, all the users, they have a custom security attributes assigned to them. And what can happen is that each of these users, or one of these, can have a password that's stored in it, which would basically, it's revealing sensitive data, but majority of them do not. The issue with this is that you would have to go through each one of them one by one to find it. And that is a very time consuming, especially in a big environment. And this is a moderate one, we could say. It's like 88, still would take quite long. Um, but yeah, that's why if you go through the Pwn Labs, you will notice that they have a script here that could be used. Let's just go all the way down. They have this script which does a loop on every user and checks the user attributes, getting the custom attributes, and eventually they do find a hit and all that. But that is not the way. I'm just trying to explain that this is one of the custom, sorry, not custom, built-in roles and has that permission, while the other ones, we can't really do anything much. Now, the issue with Azure Hound is that it's unable to gather every type of information, right? It has blind spots, which is um, RBAC roles, Azure resource. You can't really see all the resources that JAWS has permissions over. If you go over here, whoops, if you go here and go to all resources, we can see that, hey, we have security PC over here, and it really doesn't show us anything that we could do with it. So one of the things that we can do is, and the same thing over here with this Azure CLI, um, users over here, just this command should be good enough. And we can see the security PC and whatever. So another thing, just to, I'm continuing just talking about a bit of stuff before we get into the actual going forward. Another thing we can look at is these groups. They can be assigned scopes and permissions, which are, RBAC roles and whatever. So first of all, let's go to users, and let's go to our user, Jose. And we can look at the Azure role assignment, RBAC roles over here. Clicking this. And we notice that we have the reader role, which allows us to see this. So Azure RBAC roles, especially those weaker ones such as readers, they're not really shown in this. This is, I believe, well, this is the only thing that I could think of that's the main study point in the CTF. So not everything is shown in this. And what we can do is also we can look at the IT help desk. We can go over here and just go to IT help desk. This is the group. And we can also look at its permissions over here, Azure role assignments. And it's giving us the reader role in this resource. So yeah, that's basically it, and we can see that it really doesn't show it over here at all. Just gives us the roles, these built-in ones it gave us, um, you know, but not really Azure stuff, only Entra ID related stuff. But yeah, even in Entra ID, these BloodHound or Azure Hound does have a blind spot as well with administrative units as well. So that's also included. But yeah, we can continue on now. So I've talked about what I need to. And one of the main things when close this. One of the main things when looking at a resource such as a virtual machine is looking at the user data which is assigned to it. So in order to view the user data through this portal, we can go over to I think it's not here, settings, and go to operating system. And if we go to the user data, we can see we have credentials over here, and it specifically says don't use user data for storing your secrets or passwords. And we can probably reach the conclusion that they wrote this because people actually do store it there. So this is one of the things that you want to look out for when looking at a virtual machine. We can also do this through the Azure CLI, and I'll go ahead and do that. I don't know if I have, let's see, virtual machines right over here. We are going to need the resource group, so we can go here, resource group, And there we go. So we're querying the user data, and we're going to have to base64 decode it because it's usually base64 encoded. I'm going to go ahead and actually remove this first. And we'll go ahead and put the name over here. Put that there. The command field, blah blah, trace back errors. Is this the right resource group? Administrators. It's definitely not it. Yeah, resource group, this is it. What am I getting wrong over here? Is it just my machine? I think it's just my machine acting up. Let's just use PowerShell on my host machine. Great. And there we have it. This is base64 encoded. So we can just take this over here and just do echo, pipe this in, base64, and D to decode it. And it gives us the exact same thing. Credentials, security user, and password is this. So yeah, let's go ahead and log into this user. And we'll also go over here to BloodHound and check this user out. Security user. And we actually see it doesn't have access to anything. It does have some things that has access to this user, but this user specifically doesn't have any outbound object control or anything like that, no rules assigned. So we can assume that it's probably some RBAC rules that are assigned to this that Azure Hound did not pick up. So again, let's log in over here. Taking this megabigtech.com. And we do see this storage account which Azure Hound cannot pick up. So we can go ahead and click that. We can also do this with Azure CLI, but obviously I'm not going to be doing it that way. I could, but I've done it in like previous videos in the series, so I'm not going to bother with that. And over here we can go to data storage, look at the containers this may contain. And it does have two. We can look at file shares, nothing, queues, nothing, tables, nothing. So containers, we have two. Go over here, and right here we have the flag.txt. You can just check mark this and just click upload. Or yeah, but not upload, my bad. Just double click it and it should open. That is pretty much it. And there we got the download over here as well. So yeah, that is pretty much it. That's the end of this CTF. I know it's pretty short and there's not much of a learning point to this except the one that I talked about. At least that is what I could come up with, or what I've noticed is the only point of this, because you're not really doing anything crazy with BloodHound, or you're not abusing anything that you find in BloodHound specifically. So yeah, take care and see you.